Okay, so the
All
things
right,
you had on
well,
here were Dune
sure.
Spice Wars and Gundam Watch. That was your other
Oh,
two things.
yeah. Well, I've been meaning to talk about Gundam Watch for a while, and
Okay,
the
you've been
last
holding it in.
the last two podcasts, but we did tier lists instead.
Sure.
So,
Now you get to talk Gundam more.
it's been like a month since I've played it now, so maybe not quite that long. No, close to that, 3 or 4 weeks. But yeah, they had a beta for it's called Gundam Evolution, but I'm just calling it
Okay,
Gundam Watch
there you go.
it's literally Overwatch with
It's
with
Overwatch
Gundams.
2. It's Overwatch 2. That's my Overwatch 2 now. Overwatch 2's coming out. Really? Yeah, there's like big mechs in it now.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
exciting.
I don't really know what the difference was, but like TBH, the at least general reception I saw around Gundam Watch was that like people liked it.
Yeah.
Like the people I saw playing it and people like talking about on Twitter, like, yeah, this game's fun. Like
Yeah.
this game has potential. Like,
Yeah, okay. All the Overwatch memes aside, like it's Overwatch. Overwatch is a fun game at its core. If you're a casual player, you will like Overwatch. You'd like it. As a casual player, Overwatch is very fun to play, like just for fun. Like it is. It's great. And the main problem with Overwatch is anytime you turn on ranked, it devolves. Unless you're like, even when you're amazing. Like, even like some of the old folks I know who are amazing at that game, it devolves into garbage. And like, why am I doing this? It's like playing League ranked.
yeah.
It's not worth it. So, but Overwatch at its core is fun. This game is Overwatch with Gundams. If it wasn't fun, they somehow fucked a copy paste job.
Yeah.
So if I have zero doubt that this game will be super fun. It's just a question of, is it going to have the same problems as Overwatch? Overwatch has ranked problems, in my opinion. They just ranked sucks unless you have a really positive attitude.
Yeah, I mean, well, the only mode that was in the Gundam Watch beta was ranked. So
Okay.
And I mean, obviously it's a beta, so I mean, I'm sure there were some people who cared about their ranked, and they had like a leaderboard where you could push to like, top 100, top 50, top 10, whatever.
Sure.
Those people cared, but
Yeah,
most people were just checking it out.
Yep.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, it like the modes are slightly different from Overwatch, but they're, pretty similar. I think it's 6-on-6 like Overwatch 1.
Good.
The characters did not have defined roles. Like they weren't called like, hey, this is a tank, this is a DPS, and like this is a healer. But like you could kind of like, honestly, I don't know.
Somebody would figure it out after a while.
Yeah, you could figure it out. Though like to me there was only like one tank suit in the whole thing, and that was Zabi.
Okay.
There were a couple others that were like hybrid, like they had some shield, like they had shield, like a shield or something, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Like the modes were what they had, like they had like a point capture mode, which was like domination.
Okay.
But like there was an A, B, and C, but there was only one active point at a time. So, and it would change. Like, it would change throughout the match. Like
sounds like
it would
King of the Hill zones or something.
It's like zones, yeah. Like A would be active, say for like I don't know, a minute or something like that, and then be like a 30-second downtime, and like all right, C is the next point, so now you go to C. So yeah, there was that. There was a
what else?
Like it was like an attack defense point capture mode where it was like, attacking team, defending team. Defending team has, I think it was usually like there was like one outer point and then like one inner point that they had to defend.
I don't remember what it's called in Overwatch, but there is that.
Yeah, there's that. And then they had one called Destruction, I think.
Okay.
Where it was the beginning of it was like there was basically a point capture at the beginning, because the attack defense, the attacking team had to capture a point to like that would act as like a forward respawn point after they captured it, so they could respawn a little further into the map. But the defenders could also like capture it back if they were able to push the attacking team off it, which was hard because they would respawn right freaking on top of it after you capture it. But you could do it. And then the attacking team has to go into the enemy's base, and I guess it was like Counter-Strike. There's 2 points where you can plant a bomb, and then you plant a bomb.
Oh, that's interesting.
It counts down for like, I think it was 60 seconds. And
60 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a really long countdown.
Yeah.
And they can defuse it.
Yeah, they can defuse it.
That is way too long of a countdown for a defusal. What?
Yeah, maybe it was 45
seconds.
or 40. Maybe it was 45 or 40, but I think it was 60. I think it was 60. I think it was 60
so
seconds.
Long. That's insane. Somebody needs to go in there and be like, "Did 60 seconds?"
And then there was another like round of that. There was another set. There was like a second point. There was a second point capture and a second bomb to plant like further in the map. Like,
okay, I'm gonna pull up the CS:GO bomb timer. So it says that because 60 seconds sounds too long. The bomb timer lasts for 40 seconds in Global Offensive and 45 in Counter-Strike and Source. So 45 seconds. If it's 45 seconds, that's equivalent to Counter-Strike. 60 is a long time though. That's why I'm like, really?
Yeah.
60? It's a freaking long ass time. 45 is still long.
But you know, it worked like Overwatch, where like, you know, at least for ranked, where like each team would get a chance to attack and defend, and whichever team, like, you didn't have to win, you didn't have to like get both, but whichever team like got further, like won the match. So basically,
if you plant the bomb and it's defused, that's one thing. Like in Counter-Strike, it's, you know, it's last person standing basically, where like you just like, once you kill everybody, it doesn't matter, like game's over.
Yeah. Unless
the bomb's planted. But in this, like, people keep respawning. So like 45 seconds for that doesn't make sense. I think it makes sense for Counter-Strike because, like, if you kill the other opposing team, like, the game's over anyway. Like, particularly when you plant, if you're planting the bomb and you just kill the other team trying to defuse it, like, game's over anyway. That 45-second timer doesn't matter anymore. But in this, like, if you wipe the other team, you just keep playing. Like, that team just respawns and comes at you again.
Yep.
And that respawn timer, I imagine, is it might be pretty long, maybe 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that.
So you plant the bomb, you kill the other team. Let's say that took 10 seconds. Now there's 35 seconds left on that bomb. Other team has fully respawned and attacks you again. And there's still like 25 seconds on the timer.
Yeah.
Like, fights don't usually last that long. If they did, that's crazy. That's like Overwatch when it was like crazy healing metas. Or like the Mercy res meta. But yeah, 60 sounds like a long time, but maybe they want it to be long because they want it to be like, okay, well, if it's planted and then you wipe the defending team deserves one more chance to stop it. That's the only justification I could think of.
Yeah, the defending team would get at least one more chance to stop it.
That would be the only justification I could think of. If it's like, if they get 2 chances, bomb timer's too long. 1 chance. You get 1 chance. 2 chances is a lot. It's like, oh, we got wiped. Do it again. We got wiped again. Do it again. That's a long.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like there's 2 bomb sites. So I like had, you know, a game where like.
Wait, can you plant on both?
Either or, but one at a time. But like, say the entire team is like fighting on A, and like they're all fighting on A, and the other team defuses the bomb. Well, I could like sneak around and plant on B while everyone's fighting at frickin' A.
Yeah, like, but you're also a person down. That matters.
Yeah, it does, but I was able to pull it off one game. I was able to like sneak one, and then like after it gets planted, obviously they know. So like one person came around, I like killed that person, and then I made a pretty good play basically, and like planted. Eventually, my team got there, and we were able to like win the match. But
yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm just thinking about. I mean, I didn't play it, so I'm just thinking about it. So anyway, okay, sorry.
Keep going. No, it might be a little too long. Like not gonna say I 100% disagree with you on that. I'm just not sure. But you know, the time to kill is pretty fast in this game. Like if you're playing like the basic Gundam, which has like its normal weapon is just like a beam rifle, single shot beam rifle. I feel like if you're headshotting, you can kill like most characters in like 2 or 3 shots.
If you're headshotting.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a single shot, so you got to hit it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's somewhat reasonable considering the game. You know, people are moving pretty fast, I imagine. Yeah. So hard to hit target to hit, and you got a single shot. Yeah, I think that makes sense. 3 shots might be fair if you're like good at, but you got to aim. Like, well, some people are really good at aiming, but you know, 3 shots seems fair. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, it just like, I don't know. It like the time to kill just seemed pretty fast in this game. I haven't played Overwatch in a long time.
Well, it depends. Overwatch, I mean, you can die real fast. If you get hooked by Roadhog, you're dead in some cases, depending on who you are.
That's true.
So it just depends.
Yeah, the game was like, I would say like it's a little more fast paced than Overwatch because, well, every character has a freaking boost. Either 1, 2, or 3 boosts. Like it's a meter that is like segmented.
Sure.
And obviously the big chody suits like this tank like Zazabi only has 1, but then your fast characters like Exia or something has 3.
Yep.
So
sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, some of the characters were like pretty much straight up Overwatch clones. Clones of Overwatch characters. Like one of them, Pale Rider, was like basically just Soldier 76. You just have like a dude with a machine gun. He has like a healing field that he can drop down, and then he had I don't think his grenade was exactly like Soldier 76's, but he had like a grenade on his other ability.
Okay.
And then his ult didn't give the auto aim like Soldier 76, but it like vastly improved his fire rate and reload rate. It made his reload like insanely freaking fast. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, the game's cool if it's gonna be free to play, which is okay. Yeah, and I did see a tweet about this like after the fact. They're saying there's gonna be 12 free to play suits in the game.
Okay.
And then everything else is gonna be like, I'm sure you'll be able to unlock them through gameplay in some way. And there was a battle pass as well in the beta.
Okay.
But there's gonna be like 12 suits that you start with unlocked, but every other suit you're gonna have to unlock.
Are you buying this game or is it free?
It's free to play.
Okay, that's fair then. If you had to buy the game and that was the case, you'd be like, no. Nope.
Yeah. No, it's free to play.
But it's free to play, so I think that's fair.
Yeah, my like one other comment on that I had on the game is like I want more Gundams in the game.
I mean, there will be. There will be. It's just a matter of. Well, first of all, this was what, a tech demo?
It was a closed beta, I think is what they called it.
Okay, they closed beta and they had 12 suits. I mean,
there was 14.
Oh, 14.
They added 2 more.
Okay.
Like, yeah, there was 14.
Okay, 14.
They gave you the currency that you needed to unlock them for free, basically.
Okay.
In the beta,
that's okay. So 14 suits. Let's just stick with that. 14 suits. You have to assume that on a full release, maybe they'll add like 2 more, 16. So I think that's a pretty solid number to start with. And then you have to assume if the game does well, they'll support it in such a way where you'll probably get new characters every like possibly 2 months.
Yeah.
Depending on how fast they turn things around, right? And balance. So if you're getting characters every like 2 or so months, maybe 1, 2 doesn't matter. Like by the end of a year, you're gonna have like a pretty decent sized portfolio of Gundams. The problem is you can't just put every Gundam in it. You can't just put like you can't have 50 Gundams. It's not a MOBA. this is like with Overwatch, they have this pretty large cast of characters at this point, but like I think it's a good sized cast of characters, frankly.
It's like 30 or 40 at least. It's
Mhm.
pretty big.
It's a big library of characters. For Overwatch, I don't know. I don't remember. I feel like it's like 20 or something. I don't remember the number.
No, it's way more. It's way more than 20. I feel like they had 20 on release.
Oh, now there's 32. Okay, so there's 32. So there's 32 playable characters right now. And I think that's like a pretty good library. My big thing is like with a game like that, like, okay, you have 50 characters. You also have to balance 50 characters for a game like that.
Yeah.
And like, it's tough enough in MOBAs. Like, in this kind of game, I feel like it's going to be even worse. Especially when your timed death is like 3 bullets to the head.
Well, yeah. And like this, I mean, I know this is probably the case in Overwatch, but like the sniper character, like one-shotted like everybody.
Yep. Yeah, Widow doesn't one-shot everybody, but God, if you're not a tank, she's gonna one-shot you if she had shots.
Yeah.
So, and, that checks out.
I don't think the sniper would one-shot Sazabi, but and then you had Barbatos who one-shotted everybody.
Oh, okay. Do you mean the hammer thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that one I don't know. But in any case, there's going to be let's just pretend 16 characters in release. By the end of the first year, things are going great. Now you got potentially somewhere between 22, possibly more if they do more than one character every 2 months. So, I mean, that library is going to get better. I guess
my point is I want more actual, like...
Oh,
Gundams.
You want actual Gundams?
I want Gundams. Like, I don't want to play as the scrub suits. Some of the characters, like, were fun. Like, the Zaku was actually really fun. Like,
yep.
But, like, can we just make that a Gundam and not a frickin' Zaku? Like...
Nope. Can't do it.
In the beta, you had 14 characters, and I think 4 of them were Gundams. You had Gundam, you had Turn A, you had Exia, and you had Barbatos. And I guess you had Zazabi, which isn't a Gundam, but it is like a character. It is a unique suit. It's not like a scrub suit. So, but technically
5 unique suits.
A Gundam.
Let's just say 5 unique suits. Okay. Yeah. Why are they?
But then you had
like most of their library not Gundams?
You had like Zaku, you had GM, you had like Methus, I think Methus might be a unique suit too, but it's for like a really minor character in Zeta, so I'm like, I don't really like care about that. You had like Marasai, you had the Dom, Zaku, I think I said already, Pale Rider, GM Sniper, I'm like, why isn't the Sniper frickin' Dynamis or Charidium from 00? Like, I just don't understand. Like, that's a Sniper Gundam. Why can't you just make that the frickin' Sniper suit? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know why more than half their library isn't Gundams. That's really bad. No, I didn't even know.
Maybe they're saving the Gundams for people to frickin' pay for.
That's what they're gonna do. That's like people aren't necessarily gonna pay for the Zaku, but you bet somebody's gonna pay for the Strike Freedom. You bet somebody's going to pay for the Strike
Freedom.
Freedom.
Somebody's going to play for Freedom or Strike Freedom.
Yeah. Somebody's going to pay for that. They're going to pay
Wing
$5.
Or like Wing Zero.
They're going to pay $5 for that. They're going to pay $5 to $10 for that. I guarantee that. Yeah, here's the other problem with. Actually, I don't know how much of a problem it is, but maybe it's not a big deal. I was just going to say like paying for new Gundams that come out might be like a bit frustrating, but like MOBAs do that too, where they're like, oh, new characters out, but you gotta either have currency or pay for it. I think it's probably okay that that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if
I just worry if it's like all Gundams coming out and like you're like only free 4 Gundams. Like, man, like okay, I'm not like I'm not playing enough where I can just unlock these every time they release. Like, how come all the Gundams are behind the paywall? I'd be frustrated if I was a player for sure. And just be like, well, I don't want to play as Zaku. I want to play as the Infinite Justice or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, that may not be the case at all. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to see like how they do it and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, how expensive the characters are, how often they're coming out, like, yeah, and like what the characters are, if they're making all the characters like new characters, Gundams in their play, and like, oh, maybe they'll just like maybe the sniper, like they'll just make a skin for the sniper suit that is, you know, the Gundam or something like that, right? Instead of like making it a brand new character, they'll just be
Sure.
like, no, okay, there's like a Dynamis skin for the sniper suit, so
Sure.
whatever. I can see them doing that too. So, yeah, we'll see what they do with it. The game was pretty fun, and generally, from what I saw, the reception to the game was like pretty darn good. People seemed to like it. The people I watched play it were like, "Yeah, this game's fun." They really enjoyed it.
For sure.
And yeah,
I didn't hear anything bad about. I didn't hear anything bad about it, really, to be honest.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of good things. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and they said they didn't say when it's going to be, but they said there's going to be a console beta some point in the near future. They're working on it. So, and that beta is going to be the exact same as what was in the PC beta. There's not going to be any changes. It's just like a console version of what the PC beta was. So,
okay.
While the Baron,
yeah, there'll be another chance to check it out and play it on consoles when that comes out.
Okay. I'm trying to pull up the other thing that you wanted to talk about as well, and every time I try and play it, it keeps turning the volume on. So the other thing after Gundam Watch, I have loaded up right now, which is your Dune Spice Girls.
Yeah, Dune Spice Girls, you got it.
So unless you had more to say about Gundam Watch, I've got everything for Dune Spice World ready.
Dune Spice World, yeah. No, I think I'm good on
Okay.
on Gundam Watch.
Okay. Here's Dune Spice Wars, not Spice Girls. Come on. Can't believe someone would say Spice Girls for that.
the board is set.
So here's the little video of it. Let me actually pause the music.
You're still on the
I am? I thought I changed it. Oh my god.
maybe I'm behind.
No,
I'm
you're good.
behind.
No, you had it right.
Okay.
You had it right. So I'm just playing this video. This is like the intro video here. This came out last week.
Yep.
Right? Yep.
Early access, not official.
Oh, early access. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's our base, and here's wow. Okay, so here's the RTS aspect.
The noble Atreides,
Oh
bound
my.
by the whims of the Emperor,
Tip the king.
are blinded by their honor. Their quest to control
Can't believe that guy
Dune's
tipped the king already,
precious
right?
resources,
Yeah, right.
while learning to survive its punishing sun,
It's an interesting art style.
distracts them.
Yeah.
from those
Some people
in the shadows.
really don't like the graphics. They think they're really shitty. I think they're not great, but they're
They're not great,
fine.
but I think they're okay.
They're perfectly fine and serviceable for this game.
Turning the tables.
Oh my god. Yeah, you take that knife.
The board is set. The spice war begins.
The Spice Wars begin.
Yep. Spice Wars on Spice World.
Okay. There you go. Dune Spice Wars, rated PG-13. Control the spice, control the universe. A Dune 4X real-time strategy game. Spoon? What do you think of Dune Spice Wars? You played it. You probably played it, right?
I did.
Or no?
Yep,
Okay.
I did.
You did.
I have played it. I did. Yeah, I saw some stuff on it, and I decided to get it. It's in early access right now on Steam. It's only $30. So,
I did see that.
You know, it's not.
I did see that.
It's half the price of a normal like full price title.
Half the price of Overwatch 2, that's for sure.
Half the price of probably what Overwatch 2 is gonna be. Yeah, I mean it's a cool game. It, as it said, it's a real time strategy game, but also like it's 4X. It has 4X like sort of management and resources, and you know you have some diplomacy and like espionage systems in there as well. But it's an RTS in that everything moves in real time,
Yep.
sort of like something like Crusader Kings. You can pause it at will, like in Crusader Kings, and you can also speed it up if you want to.
Oh, okay. Sure. That's nice.
'cause, yeah,
That's a good feature.
some of the things in the game, like building stuff, just like it just takes time to build stuff, so you just
Yep.
have to wait for it to build. So you can speed it up if you're not really doing anything.
Sure.
You can just speed it up. Yeah, and there's 4 factions in the game. People who are familiar with Dune would probably know them, but if you're not, they are Atreides. There's House Atreides, House Harkonnen. There's the Smugglers, and there's the Freemen.
Mhm.
Those are the 4 factions in the game currently. I believe the developers said that they're gonna add at least one more faction, if not a couple
Oh.
more, before the game actually comes out. And they also said that they're gonna add like a full-fledged campaign
Oh.
to the game as well
Hmm.
eventually. Right
Okay.
now it's just like, like a Civ or a Humankind, where it's just like a free play thing, like,
Yep.
start up a new game. Procedurally generated map. There's a few options, but not that many.
Sure. Okay.
And yeah, you play the game. There are 3 victory conditions in the game. There is the diplomatic victory, where you just get elected. You are elected governor of Dune, and you have to hold that for 60 in-game days, which
Okay.
is 30 minutes. Obviously, you can speed that up.
Yep.
So it can be. I think you can go up to double speed, so it can be 15 minutes.
Yep.
There is the domination victory, where you destroy the other 3 or all the other factions playing against you. By you defeat the other faction by either destroying their main base,
Mm-hmm.
or there is a espionage operation to assassinate the leader of an opposing faction.
Okay.
So you can eliminate a faction by those are the 2 ways to eliminate a faction.
Okay.
And then there is victory by what they call hegemony, which is the score, like it's score victory basically.
Okay,
They have
got it.
the score system called hegemony. So
So score victory, becoming governor, or domination.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And other than that, like, you kind of have what you kind of expect for 4X. You have there's like 4 or 5 different resources. There's Solari, which is gold.
Mm-hmm.
There's Plascrete, which is building materials basically. So you use it just for constructing buildings in your cities.
Yep.
There's manpower, which is used for army production and army upkeep. There is fuel cells, which is used for sort of the mechanical things that you use, like the spice refineries, the ornithopters, which are the scouts, and a couple of units that are like mechanical in nature use fuel cells as well.
Okay.
There's water, which is it's used for both expansion and for army upkeep, because
Okay.
obviously it's on a desert planet, so your armies need water.
Yep.
And your cities, it costs 5 water to like settle a new city.
Okay.
And then you have authority, which is an expansion based resource. It costs authority to capture a new village.
Okay.
Basically.
Got it.
So yeah, those are the how many was that? That was like 6, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, there's those 6 resources, and I guess like there's spice as well, but spice is like you need spice to like pay. There's like this tax. There's like taxes you have to pay every like 25 or 30 in-game days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like bonuses. You get a hegemony for paying your taxes, and you get increased Landsrod standing, which gives you like more votes on the council for the diplomacy
Sure.
stuff, and helps you become governor later if you
Yep.
do well on that. So
Yep.
and if you get to certain points on Landsrod standing, you get more bonuses. Like you'll just get like more resources and stuff like that.
Okay.
And any excess spice is just converted to gold, to Solari. They actually have this slider over the spice where you can basically you can do anywhere from like 0 to 100 production on either like Spice or Solari. So you can make it, like 100 to 0, 90 10, 80 20, 70 30, like either way between Spice and Solari, depending on like how much Spice you need to pay your taxes, or if you want to like pump Solari for a bit to get money to do whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that. And yeah, you always start with just your main building, and then in order to expand, you have to capture neutral villages, basically. And as I said, that costs water. You have to like send usually like early on, you only need like 2 units to go capture one. It gets harder later because there's more militia. But you go out, take down the villagers, and then you capture the city using water and authority, and then you can start making buildings on those villages. Certain regions will have spice in them. Usually the first thing you do in the game is you send your starting ornithopter to scout the spice region that is near your main base.
Okay.
You build 2 units and you go take that region because you need to start generating spice to like pay your first tax and like get your economy going.
Sure.
So yeah, and then you can build buildings that can give you, I guess there's a couple more resources. Actually, there's influence, which is used for voting, and then there's intel, which is used for espionage, but those come in the game a little later once you get a little further. And then also, I guess there's a tech tree, and then there's a resource for that called knowledge, which is like science, I guess. But so yeah, once you capture your villages, you can build your buildings on the different villages, military buildings, resource generating buildings, defensive buildings, buildings that do any number of things. And yeah, you go around and you play the game as you would. You basically try to expand as quickly as possible. You build up your army, fight the AI when you want to or need to, and capture stuff, and try to win the game. The games, in my experience, take between 4 and 5 hours to complete, so they're shorter than like a Civ or a Humankind game.
That's much shorter.
You can do it in one sitting if you play for long enough, but comfortably like two to 2.5 hour sittings, and you should get through a game of it. And yeah, I think it's fun. I've played 2 games of it so far, so I haven't played all 4 factions yet. And yeah, at least from what I've seen, the factions all kind of have their unique sort of mechanics on like things that you can do. And yeah, I think it's cool and interesting. The game, at least for an early access release, seems really solid. Obviously, there's not a ton of content in the game yet. You can only do the quick play mode, and there's only 4 factions, and there's not a ton of options to tweak. But I think it's worth the $30 asking price right now, especially since they've said they're going to add a campaign to it and at least one more faction, if not more than that. Yeah, and I think they said it's gonna be in early access for a little bit, for at least like, I don't remember what it said. It might have been end of this year, maybe even early next year that they were targeting for release. So you're looking at like close to a year of early access, probably.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And yeah, I just think it's a cool game. You don't have to like. I'm not a particularly huge Dune fan or anything like that, so you don't really need to like love Dune or anything to play this game. And yeah, I just think it's cool. It's fun for those 4X and strategy fans. The RTS is like very minor. It doesn't require super intense micro like StarCraft or anything like that. Like most of the unit stuff is just like, yeah, I mean, you just select your units and tell them to attack, and that's kind of it. So yeah, it's not super daunting like StarCraft or anything like that. The RTS is very mild, and again, you can pause it at will. So
yeah, so there's a lot. Yeah,
if you ever feel like you need time to like think about your next move, or you can pause it and then like give a bunch of orders and then unpause it, right?
Right.
And your units or whatever will execute those orders after it's unpaused.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, game's pretty cool. I think it's worth checking out, especially at the $30 asking price right now.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad. So yeah, I worry about multiplayer for a game like that.
Yeah, they said there is going to be multiplayer.
Yeah,
Obviously, you won't be allowed. I'm sure you won't be allowed to pause the game in
yeah,
multiplayer.
that would have to be the case. So you just can't pause in multiplayer. So that's the only thing I'd consider for that, is like, how do you play multiplayer? But that's a way to solve it. It's just like, okay, well, you just can't pause.
Yeah, you probably can't pause or like change the speed of the game. The game will be like set on whatever
Yep.
the default speed for
Yep.
whatever you select. From like, maybe they probably want to speed it up a little for multiplayer, because I don't know if you want to be sitting around for 4 or 5 hours to play a game.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing too, like that they'd have to consider. But I mean, just have to wait and see. They have a lot of time to put it in the oven. So
Yep.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I was gonna ask what you like, if you give it a review, but it's early access. Maybe we just wait. Something like that should wait, because it's not even like there's like stuff just not in there. But I mean, like, do you like it more than other 4X games by comparison? Would you play this over like a Humankind or a Civ? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I think it depends what I'm feeling. Like, this is different and it's shorter. I like that it's shorter. It's a little more digestible.
Okay.
In that, I do like, I mean, you know how I feel about Humankind. I do like Humankind. And they've been actually continually pushing updates for that game, and they have another update on the way that is looking pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's at least on par with those. Like,
Okay.
I think I'm, if I were to give it a score right now, like, would I give it a 9? I don't know about that, but like, it's a solid 8 easily. Like, I think the game's like really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, and definitely had, in the sessions when I was playing last week, it definitely, even though it's not turn-based, I had that, kind of like one more turn feeling, where like I was up a little later than I wanted to be playing that game, because I just like wanted to get to the end, or just kind of got sucked in.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay. That sounds I mean, I'll take a look, but I don't know. We'll see. I got stuff, but we'll see. That might be something to take like a day out of and try it. But that sounds interesting. Like, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting idea. Shorter games are good. I like shorter games like that. That's always nice to get through, like in 1 to 2 sittings is great. So very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Kind of I want to say under the radar game, but
yeah, definitely.
It's got like that name that really, I don't know if it should be under the radar, but it is. Dune. I mean, Dune is hard to say it goes under the radar, but I don't know. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, I guess the one other thing I'll say about it is the developer is a studio called Shiro Games, and I have not played any of their other games, but I know of one of their other games that I think people was pretty well liked, and it's called Northgard. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
But it was another strategy game, I think similar to this, and
okay, from
what I've heard, generally well liked. I haven't played it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything else. I'm so happy I'm done with school, so
yeah.
I'm super thrilled to be able to actually like dive into my backlog now. I'm super hyped about that. So I'll let you know how that goes next week. I got to figure out the balance between my work and when I can do that. But yeah, I'm super excited to dive in. I don't know what I'm gonna do first in the backlog too. So we'll see how I do on that.
What's what are the options? What's on the table?
Tales of Arise is on my backlog. Playing the Yuito storyline of Scarlet Nexus is in my backlog. I haven't done that.
Yeah, you never did that. Huh?
Yep. I don't know. I mean, that one's not high in the list, but that one's there.
Is like, man.
That's a low priority kind of backlog thing, but I want to do it.
the second playthrough of Scarlet Nexus was like there was some stuff that was new and interesting, but like the vast majority of it is the exact same thing.
Don't care.
Though I guess it's been like a year or so.
In a while.
It will
I
probably
wanna-
be better.
I'll do one more playthrough. I don't care. I know there's like they've added some content. I really don't care.
Oh yeah, they have added some stuff.
I'm very excited to do it again. Just do a playthrough. I do like that game a lot, so that's in my backlog. There's like various other things in my backlog that I need to pull up here. On Switch, I want to finish my Pokemon game, but I'm gonna do that like kind of like off stream, like doing whatever. Yeah. And I'm trying to think. So I still have Valhalla, but that's like not super high priority for me. I still
you've
have
like
it.
tried playing that game a
Yeah,
couple times.
that's
bored
that
with
stopped
it.
because of
So-
school. Tiny Tina's
that was-
Wonderland.
Oh,
That one actually is my highest priority right now. I want to finish Tiny Tina's because I'm really far into that. So Tiny Tina's is my highest priority item.
Yeah,
and that I
never
wanna
finished
finish.
that. I never finished that either. I just kind of like fell off it.
I want to finish that up. So that's in my backlog. I'm just looking at games that I actually own right now. Here's another game that's in my backlog: Immortals: Phoenix Rising. That's in my backlog. I haven't touched it. It's in there though. I haven't touched the game, but it's in there, and I do want to play that. It's not the highest priority in the backlog, but it's there. So I want to do Tiny Tina's first, and then I probably want to do Tales of Arise, and then I have to figure out what's next on the priorities list. Golf Breath of the Wild. Listen up, it's in there. I'm not ignoring it. There's other games in my backlog that I like have a side eye on, like FF7R. My eye is like peripheral vision on it, but I'm like, it's not high priority for me.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
it's
I
not a high priority for me.
I like FF7R, but I know you kind of I don't know.
It's not a high priority for me.
You played it quite a bit, and then it just seemed like you got tired of it.
I got tired of being stunned.
Like, oh yeah, the combat. Yeah.
Tired of that. I mean, no, I just stop. It's in my peripheral vision though, so it's somewhere in there. It's not a high priority for me. I don't care for it as much as other people. I just don't.
Yep.
I'm not as into it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. You know, it's like, but like, it's just like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. It was a whatever for me. It's not the glory that I think other people think it is, but like that's okay. But that's okay. That's okay. We all have different tastes. My tastes are weird. I have funky taste, but in a good way. Yeah, there's just stuff, you know. There's just stuff like that that's in there. I'm sure if I look through Steam, I'd probably find one or two other things. I'm like, oh yeah, I should really finish that. You know, I should really finish like Koromon. Like Koromon, I haven't touched it. Koromon is somewhere in there, and that's a fun little game that I want to play. Oh god, I don't know why, but I popped up Steam, and that freaking Mega Man Gacha game is the first thing that's looking at my face, and I'm angry now. Now I'm angry. I just got mad looking at it. What else is in here that I want to like really play? I mean, Koromon's like kind of the main thing. There's really not much else that I want to like go hard into at the moment on Steam, but Koromon's the main one. And then yeah, I mean like there's a handful of things in there. You know, there's a handful of things on the anyway, there's a handful. There's things on there. And my precious time has opened up because I finally got my C+ on my exam, thus allowing me to be free. I have like 14 weeks or so, whatever the number is, to play some games at night when I can. It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's a big backlog. A lot of great titles in there, amazing titles, probably some of the best titles you'll ever see around. And I'm excited to start. Some of it might be off stream, some of it might be on stream. I really can't say for sure. But anyway, that's it. But but Tales is not my top priority compared to Tiny Tina's. It's just not.
I know.
Because I'm so close to being done with Tina's.
Yeah, you've still got a good bit in Tales.
Yeah, I've got like, I don't even know, 30 hours. Who knows? Maybe 25.
You probably have close to like half the game left.
Oh, okay. That's better than I thought. There you go.
Well,
Oh boy.
probably a little more than that. A little more.
Okay,
than half,
okay.
I would
Whatever.
say. Like you're in the fourth region, or you
Yeah.
finished the third region.
The point is, Alphen and
Shion.
Fion and Kisara and what's the mage's name again?
Rinwell.
Rinwell and Don Fan, whatever his name is. Don Fan. Dohalim, that's it. Dohalim, the guy, the fight that I complained the whole time about the AI. It's a great, memorable, unforgettable team, as you can see. Unforgettable. Hard to forget such names.
Especially since you forgot one of the members, and that's Law.
Law! What a great group. Great group. Especially Kisara. What a great character.
She has a great personality.
She does. I remember her. She's great. So, okay.
I guess before we wrap up real quick, I do want to, since we kind of got on it for a second, I do want to mention the next Humankind update that I kind of talked about there, adding some more quality of life improvements in the next update. One of them is something that a lot of people have been asking for a long time, and that is, in wars, you are not going to be required to have the end the war when the war support is depleted from one of the sides.
Oh.
So you can keep fighting the war if you want to capture more things or whatever.
Oh, I see. As the aggressor, that might be a good thing.
Yeah, as the aggressor, you can you can just keep going. But I think they said it's gonna it might affect your war support in some way, or maybe your stability, because your population is not really gonna be happy that you're fighting a war that you really don't need to fight anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
no, that's I'm on board with that. That makes sense. That should
a lot
be
of
a balance.
people have been saying I don't like to be forced to end my war when I don't want to end my war.
Well. We got a lot of
I agree with that in
warmongers out
some
there.
respects. There can be a situation where you're man, I just need one or two more turns to capture the city that I want to, and then the war ends and you're not able to capture it, so you don't actually get what you want.
Yeah, sure. No, I was just messing. Yeah, that makes sense. Your progress just completely gets blocked because the number.
And then you have to wait for the war support to tick back up before you can actually go again.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but anyway, okay.
So there's that, and one new thing that they announced today as a quality of life change was one thing that I hadn't seen a lot of people asking for, but it was one thing that I was man, I wish this was in there.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you build there was districts which you placed on the map, and then there was the infrastructures which just kind of went into the city center. Now when you hover over an infrastructure, it's going to tell you how much resource you're going to get for building that infrastructure. So if you build a lumber yard or whatever on the city, it's going to say hey, you're going to get 15 production for building a lumber yard.
Yeah, that's good.
As opposed to just being you get 2 production for every forest in your.
It actually tells you
in the city, and you have to count them up or something like that. No, it's just going to tell you hey, you're going to get 15 production for this.
Right.
So you can say is it better for me to build that, or is it better for me to build another industrial district when I get more production from just building another district as opposed to the.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, that's another nice one too. That I was that would be really nice if that was there. So yeah, more quality of life changes for Humankind. I haven't gone back and played it in a while, but it's a thing that I think about occasionally. Oh yeah, I could go back and play a game of
of course. I mean,
see what they fixed.
Yeah, if there's good updates, you definitely want to check them out. I'm glad they're still doing that too. I'm really glad they're still doing that and supporting it and being good about it. That's a good sign too. It means that there's enough returning players that they want to keep doing that. So that's great. Good,
Yeah.
and it's good because Sony's telling them they can do it.
Sega.
That's whatever. Sega, Sony. Oh, both
Yeah,
start with an
Sega.
S. It's close. I was close.
S Japanese companies.
There you go.
Same
See,
thing.
same thing. They must be the same.
Sega, Sony, Square, same.
See, they all have to start with an S. It must be a requirement. All right.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. Well, it's that time. We say goodbye, and I'll have to figure out what my backlog's priority list is going to be. Maybe Tails is on the bottom. You never know. Maybe I run the numbers. I crunch the numbers. I look at all the angles. All the calculations are completed, and I realize, man, the Immortals Phoenix Rising, I'm really missing out. I gotta push that to number 1 for some reason. It's like, man, I'm missing out. I've missed
You
it.
do you, man. But I'm a SMH. I'm a SMH. I mean, okay. I know that like you definitely like.
That's good.
From watching you play it, I know you don't like Tails nearly as much as I did. So that's fair, maybe. But you know, I'm still entitled to SMH if I want to.
You can.
So,
Of course you can.
yeah.
Of course you can. Are you kidding me? Like, you're entitled to do that. Like, I can't stop you. You know, I'm not gonna stop you from doing any of that. Just like I wouldn't. Just like when I'll say my piece about things. Of course, it's my job to make my opinion heard. No matter how awful it is, it will be heard. I don't care how awful it is. It'll be heard. But anyway,
yeah, our Xenoblade video had like more dislikes than likes, and I'm gonna guess it's because of your UI rant.
Oh really? I didn't even
Yeah.
check. Is that
At
really the
least
case?
Last I checked, which was like
Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
But, like,
Oh, that's funny. Did anybody say anything? Did they say I was stupid? I hope they did.
I didn't see any comments.
I hope
but
they did. I hope they said I was an idiot.
Last I checked.
Oh my god.
I think we had two. We had
We
two
have like 39
dislikes.
views on it. That's funny.
We
Oh,
had
it's like 2 to 1. Oh, that's
I think it was
fine.
two dislikes and 1 like, and I'm like, yep, there went Otto's UI rant. There
Oh,
went the
but-
dislikes.
That's whatever. Whatever. I'm okay with that. If people don't like my UI rant, I'm perfectly fine with that. That one, to be honest, if it's 2 to 1, that means my rant must have worked. Because 2 people said yes. And I won't say that one of them was me or anything. But look, I totally get it. Like, if my opinion is wrong to somebody, that's fine. Like, you get to push the thumbs down button for a reason.
Yep.
Like, that's your voice. If you don't like it, I just wanted
Next time, leave a comment though and tell.
Yeah, that'd be
Otto why
great.
he's stupid.
I would actually love to know like why you didn't like it. I would love to hear a different opinion. I'm one of the few people I think in this planet that's open to have a change of opinion.
Yeah.
I think there's like 1% of people on this planet that's like that. With like, oh my god, I feel like I'm wrong. I should change my opinion because you've shed light onto my thought process. I'm like one of like a real small handful of people I find that's like willing to change their opinion. So I am. If somebody comments and says, look, here's why I disagree, I actually may like change my mind and agree.
If they
just
make a good argument.
Because if
make
the
a good
argument's
argument.
good. Because then I reevaluate what I said and thought and go, oh, well, maybe if I thought about it that way, I'd have a difference of opinion. Because if you're too stubborn to change your opinion and like with new information, like you're just this is just me saying it, and I'm sorry that somebody may feel this. You're just an idiot. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
like with new
I agree with
information, you have to be
But
willing to change.
Most people are very hesitant, if not like downright stubborn in
Yeah.
changing their opinions, and like even if they just get upset if they won't actually change their opinion. They'll just get upset if you basically prove them wrong. They'll just get upset, but they won't change their
Yeah.
opinion. They'll just be like, yeah, no.
I'd love to hear it too. And it can't just be like Spoon saying it. You know, I Spoon already told me his opinion. It's
yeah,
gotta
I mean,
be somebody else.
Otto doesn't listen to me, so you know.
I do sometimes.
I'm kidding.
I do occasionally. I listen to people occasionally. Occasionally I do. But you know, like, fuck. You know, I also gotta make my choices, and you know, Immortals Phoenix Rising may be it. Who knows? It probably isn't.
That might be the one.
It's probably not. But you know, it's been sitting there. So anyway, that's cool though. I'm glad that somebody disliked that. I like it because it means that somebody cared enough to be like, fuck that
Yeah.
guy.
Somebody cared enough.
Screw
to
that
click
guy.
the dislike button.
How dare he? I love this video game and this franchise. They just slammed that negative button. That
Yeah.
makes me happy because I was like, okay, somebody did like it. Fine. I'm totally cool with that kind of stuff. Now, if it was like everybody didn't like it, then I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's a totally different story. But anyway, I'm just surprised they didn't like my presentation. At least I put a whole PowerPoint together practically.
Yeah.
I should get a like just for that. But anyway, all right. That's cool. I didn't even know that. I'm glad you followed up on that and told me. That's great. All right. Well, let's close it out here. We'll be back next week for sure. And maybe next week I'll have like some idea of what I'm going to stream on this channel, because I do want like every week to do maybe one. I just don't know when and what, but I'd like to do something. I really would, because I do want to do more stuff for this channel. So next week maybe I'll have some info on that. But as always, Spoon, it's good talking to you. I'll talk to you later, of course. Well, tomorrow we have Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow.
We do.
But yeah, for everybody else who's watching, thanks for watching. Yeah, let me know if I have a dumb opinion. I always love hearing that. I get told that a lot though. I'm not sure if it's because I'm an idiot or if I like saying controversial things. It could be one of those two. So
no, you just have weird tastes.
I do. I have really weird taste. It's great. It's really great
which
too.
makes it so that a lot of people disagree with you.
True.
'Cause you have weird
Very true.
taste.
It's very true. I have a unique palate, but I think in the best way possible. Because I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just want you to know why I don't like something.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, let's call it here, Spoon.
Yep.
Talk to you later, of course, and everybody else.
Mhm.
I mean, we'll see you next week. So yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Night, everybody.
Bye.